ERIKA JAYNE has some thoughts about how PK KEMSLEY will act if he and estranged wife DORIT KEMSLEY ever file for divorce. PK is ruthless. He's ruthless in business, which means he will be ruthless in the business of divorce. ERIKA, 53, said during her Real Housewives of Beverly Hills confessional on the Tuesday, February 11, episode of the Bravo hit. I keep yelling from the mountaintops, hey, you need to take shelter. No one is listening to me. ERIKA's comment came after she and DORIT, 48, sat down for a dinner with Bozoma St. John and revealed that she had finally spoken with PK. I'm talking to him, and there's the father of my children. The man that I believed no longer existed, DORIT said. This is not a reconciliation. I asked him, I said, I need you to just slow down a little bit and let's just communicate. We can't be at war and the kids be okay. RUTHLESS ERIKA JAYNE has worked hard to reconnect with DORIT KEMSLEY after marriage woos jokes. ERIKA and Bozoma, 48, appeared skeptical. Guys, I want to explain it so it's not confusing, DORIT continued. The conversation was a hell of a lot better and different than I thought it would be. Bozoma replied, it feels like a trick. DORIT spoke with PK after receiving what she claimed, during last week's RHOBH episode, was a 7-page email about finances and the custody of their 2 children, son Jagger, 10, and daughter Phoenix, 8. Bozoma told DORIT on Tuesday that PK wants to have the upper hand in their separation. DORIT and PK announced in May 2024 that they separated after 9 years of marriage. He's afraid of how smart you are and how you will strike, Bozoma claimed. ERIKA added, he's calming you down so he can run the bases on you. Everything DORIT KEMSLEY said about her separation from PK in the RHOBH Season 14 premiere. Bozoma continued, legally, he can go around town and scoop up everybody so that you don't have good counsel. DORIT and PK have yet to file for divorce. However, she claimed earlier this season that he threatened it during a 4-hour-long therapy session. DORIT needs to keep her eyes open. A divorce is gonna come. It's gonna take her totally by surprise. She's going to get the shorter end of the stick, Bozoma said in her confessional. You can't just stand still and wait for him to do things to you. You can't be a victim. ERIKA JAYNE wasn't mincing words, and her tone carried the kind of sharpness that comes only from experience. Sitting across from Bozoma and DORIT, she looked both protective and warning, like someone who's seen the storm coming long before the thunder rolled in. Listen, ERIKA continued, leaning forward, her blonde hair catching the restaurant's dim light. I've been there. When you're married to a man who's used to winning, he doesn't suddenly forget how to play the game. Divorce for him will be another arena. DORIT sighed, her manicured fingers tracing the rim of her wine glass. I'm not trying to fight him, she said softly. I just want peace. For me, for the kids. ERIKA raised an eyebrow. Peace doesn't come from pretending everything's fine. PK is charming, yes, but he's strategic. You need to be twice as careful now that he's suddenly acting friendly again. Bozoma nodded in agreement, her voice calm but firm. When men like PK feel control slipping through their fingers, they'll do anything to grab it back, even if it means manipulating the narrative. The air between them thickened with unspoken tension. DORIT, dressed impeccably as always, looked visibly tired, the kind of exhaustion that seeps into the soul. You both make it sound like he's plotting against me, she whispered. He's still the father of my children. Surely there's some part of him that doesn't want to hurt me. Of course, ERIKA said, her tone softening slightly. But this isn't about wanting to hurt you. It's about wanting to win. That's different. Later that evening, in her confessional, DORIT's voice cracked just slightly. When ERIKA says PK could be ruthless, it hurts to hear. But maybe she's right. He's a businessman. He negotiates deals for a living. And now, our marriage is becoming another deal he has to manage. The camera cut to a flashback, a scene from the therapy session DORIT had mentioned earlier in the season. PK's voice echoed through the footage, tense and defensive. "I can't live like this anymore," he had said during the session, his accent thickening as frustration grew. "You question everything I do. You've made this house unbearable." Dorit, tears streaming down her face, had replied, "You shut me out, PK. You shut all of us out. I don't even know who you are anymore." At one point, PK reportedly muttered, "Maybe we should just end it," and stormed out of the room, a moment that, according to Dorit, felt like the beginning of the end. Back at the dinner table, ERIKA's warning still hung heavy. "You have to protect yourself, Dorit," she repeated. "Emotionally, legally, financially, all of it. Because when PK moves, he's going to move fast." Bozoma leaned back, observing Dorit carefully. "Have you spoken to your lawyer since that email?" Dorit hesitated. "Not yet. I wanted to talk to PK first, see where his head's at." ERIKA's reaction was instant. "Girl, no. This is not the time to play nice. That's how you lose ground." The exchange was pure RHOBH gold, raw, emotional, and tense. But beneath the drama, viewers could feel a real sense of fear radiating from Dorit. This wasn't just another storyline for her. This was her life unraveling on camera. A few days later, Dorit was seen meeting with her close friend and stylist, who noticed how different she seemed. Her usually composed demeanor had been replaced by a fragile quietness. "I feel like I'm walking on eggshells," Dorit admitted as she tried on an elegant white dress for an upcoming charity event. One moment he's kind, and the next, it's like he's keeping score. Her stylist gave her a sympathetic look. "You're not alone in this. Just don't let him make you feel small." Dorit smiled weakly. "That's what I'm afraid of, that somewhere along the way I already did." Meanwhile, in her own confessional, ERIKA reflected on her warning to Dorit. "I know what it's like when a marriage ends in chaos. Everyone thinks you're exaggerating until you're sitting in a courtroom with lawyers staring you down. I just don't want Dorit to wake up one day and realize everything's been taken from her while she was trying to keep things civil." Her voice hardened. Civility doesn't win divorces. Strategy does. Bozoma, too, gave her own confessional. "I admire Dorit's compassion. I really do. But PK is not playing this emotionally. He's playing it tactically. The sooner she realizes that, the better she can protect herself and her kids." The next RHOBH group scene took place at Kyle Richards' home in Encino, where the ladies gathered for what was supposed to be a light brunch. But with this group, lightheartedness never lasts long. Kyle, ever the hostess, had tried to set a friendly tone. "Let's just have fun today, please," she said with a forced smile as she poured mimosas. "No drama, no tears." But the moment Dorit arrived, the energy shifted. Sutton Strack, who'd been quietly observing, couldn't resist stirring the pot. "So Dorit, how's PK handling things?" she asked with feigned innocence. Dorit gave a polite but guarded smile. "We're communicating. That's progress." ERIKA, seated beside her, added pointedly, "Just make sure that communication doesn't turn into concession." Kyle frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," ERIKA replied smoothly, "that sometimes being too nice during a separation gives the other person all the leverage." Sutton's eyes widened. "Oh Lord, are we talking about leverage now? Sounds like this is getting serious." Dorit's patience snapped slightly. "It is serious, Sutton. It's my life, my family." Kyle reached out gently. "Dorit, we're just worried about you. We know PK loves you, but sometimes love gets complicated." For a moment, silence fell. Even the clinking of glasses stopped. Dorit's eyes glistened as she whispered, "I never thought I'd be the one sitting here, talking about divorce. I thought we'd grow old together." ERIKA's expression softened, but her voice stayed firm. "You might still get through this stronger, but only if you stop pretending he's still your partner. Right now, he's your opponent." Off-camera sources later claimed that Dorit took ERIKA's advice to heart. According to insiders close to production, Dorit quietly began consulting new legal counsel, determined not to be blindsided by any potential filing from PK. "She's not waiting around anymore," one insider said. "Dorit's been through too much to let PK control the narrative." Meanwhile, PK was reportedly telling friends a different version of events, one that painted him as the reasonable party trying to keep things civil for the sake of the kids. PK feels like Dorit's been listening too much to the girls, especially ERIKA, the source claimed. He thinks ERIKA's projecting her own divorce trauma onto them. But Dorit's fears weren't unfounded. Weeks after the episode aired, paparazzi caught PK leaving a Los Angeles law office, a visit that sparked rumors that the couple's quiet separation was about to turn into a very public divorce battle. When asked by reporters if he and Dorit were officially calling it quits, PK gave his trademark smirk and replied, "You'll have to wait and see." Fans immediately took to social media, dissecting his every word. Many sided with Dorit, urging her to lawyer up before it was too late. Others speculated that PK's cryptic attitude was part of a larger PR game to stay relevant amid the Bravo spotlight.